everybody, Greg Ray here with Outdoor Solutions, Long Range Shooting Schools, and I wanted to bring you guys another tip. I was specifically going to do a tip on how to set the zero stop on the Zeiss LRP S3, but I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and go into an explanation of what zero stop actually is. We have brought in so many new hunters and so many new shooters here over the last few years that we get a request for, hey, you're talking about dope and you're talking about zero stop and you're talking about minute of angle, and we're not too sure what all those terminologies mean. We have to go look them up. So let's just give you an explanation. Zero stop is super simple and it's pretty much exactly what it says. Most of your rifle optics will have them on there now. Some of your lesser expensive ones may not. But what I want to do is explain to you why it's important and what it does. So a zero stop will do exactly what it just says. Whenever we zero a rifle in our long range shooting schools, we do that at 100 yards. So when we're at 100 yards and we are pointing the rifle or the optic at our target, we obviously want it hitting right in the center, right where we're aiming. And once we have that done, that means that our rifle is zeroed, hence we have it zeroed at 100 yards. With the type of system that we're using, like with the S3, we are using a elevation dial and we're using it in minute of angle. We'll get into minute of angle. Actually, I think we already have. We have a very good explanation of minute of angle on a different video. I will put that link in the description for you. But the dial has numbers on it, and each dial, each number represents a minute of angle. So if it says 1, that means 1 minute of angle. If it says 5, that means 5 minutes of angle. And whenever we zero at 100 yards, we want the rifle or the elevation dial to be on 0. That way all of our information is accurate. And one of the reasons that zero stop is important is that if you have a dial that will go past 0, well, if you turn back to 0 and you've gone a full revolution back to 0 again, now you're going to be shooting, depending on how many minutes are in each revolution, but you could have as many as 20 minutes of elevation low that you would be shooting under an animal. You'd basically be shooting right in front of you, or if you were already off, you could be shooting way over on an animal. So you don't know where your actual zero really is if you don't have that hard stop. So that's one of the reasons for hunting that it's really important to know. Now with this particular setup, this is a brand new Benelli Lupo, their Chaos version that they just came out with. And so I have not zeroed it yet. I just put the optic on, so we have to zero. But one of the things that you will notice is on this elevation dial, on the tube itself, there is an arrow. That arrow indicates what elevation we are dialed to. Right now, this one says, looks like 5 minutes. I want it to be at 0. We'll pretend that I've already zeroed this rifle. But you can see it comes to a hard stop. 5 is as far as it will go. We want to change that. The only thing that you need to change your 0 and your zero stop on most Zeiss optics, definitely on the S3, is a number 8 Torx wrench. There are 3 set screws on here on the elevation dial itself. So I'm just going to loosen those just by typically half a turn. We'll loosen it. Loosen those, and we gotta loosen it just a little bit more. And this is, once I get these loose enough, this is going to pop right off. So that's just my elevation cap with my minute of angle numbers on there. Underneath that is what Zeiss calls their ballistic bucket and is part of the actual zero stop. Now on this one, on the S3, they kept us old guys in mind that need these cheaters, need to be able to see. These set screws are recessed back in there quite a way. So Zeiss has put arrows on there for you to be able to see easily. Because like I said, those set screws are set back in there quite a bit. So to make it easier to find them, they put those white arrows on there. So I've loosened those 3 as well, and now your ballistic bucket comes right off. And this has half of the zero stop on there as well. if you look right here on this dial, there is a little metal shim. That is part of the ballistic stop. Then if you come over here, the ring around the brass elevation stem has a little shim on it as well. Here's all we have to do. We put the shim on here on the left side of the shim on the ring, and you hear how it's making it go right up against, and you can hear that it's hitting metal on metal. So we want to firm that right up against each other where it can't move any further in that direction. And then we're just doing the reverse, and we're tightening up these set screws. Now you don't want to crank down on them super tight. You just want to firm them up, get them snug on there. I think I need to get this one a little bit better. There we go. Give it one more. Okay, so I've got those on there. Now to set the 0, all I have to do, find the 0 on here on the dial, line it up with the arrow that Zeiss has put on here, put it on there, and push down, line those two up. You want to hold it just to make sure that it doesn't move anymore. Now you're back to your 3 set screws, and you're going to snug those up as well. Again, you don't want to crank down on them. You just want them to be snug. And double check and make sure that you stayed on 0. Now, we actually have this set to 0 now, and what you'll see is that I can raise my elevation for whatever my ballistic at, whatever my distance calls for, but whenever I'm done and I want to go back to 0, hear that? Now I've got that hard stop right there, and it's stopping right on 0. So now I've zeroed my rifle and I've set my 0 stop. It's really just that simple. So I hope this was helpful to you guys as far as an explanation of what 0 stop is and how to set it on this particular optic. We'd appreciate if you guys would leave us a comment. Let us know if you have any questions, or if there's another video, different terminology that you would like to learn about. We'd be more than happy to do it for you. Also, if you're new to this channel, it would be a huge help to us if you would hit that subscribe button. That's how we are able to keep bringing you guys free tips like this, and we will see you guys on the next video.